One thing my clients ask a lot is how to let go of a situation that has been really troubling you. Logically, you might know that you don't need to hold on to it anymore. You know that it's in the past, it's over, it's no longer happening. But if you give yourself half a chance, you can get right back into that feeling of frustration, anger, irritation, whatever it was. So if you're ready to let go of that feeling, this video will help you do that. Whatever it is, there's no doubt that it was a really difficult thing to experience at the time. That's why your mind has held onto that memory, so that it can protect you from potentially feeling that same feeling or having that same experience again in future. But by doing that, your mind also very much keeps it alive. You still think that it's happening now, that you're facing that same threat now, and yet you are not. What do you need to do right now to make sure that that thing didn't happen yesterday or last week or a year ago? There is absolutely nothing that you need to do right now to change it because it's in the past and it's done. It makes sense that you felt that anger or regret or frustration or embarrassment at the time because of what you went through. But you can also recognize that it no longer benefits you in the present to feel like that because the situation is over, it's past. It's like having 20 tabs open on your computer. You're not looking at them all at the same time, but they are all drawing energy from the computer, making the battery run down faster, and yet the information is still accessible in a second if you just click on that tab. And that's the experience that people often have of traumatic or upsetting events. The mind has taken snapshots and it can re-access them as though they're happening now at any time. Whatever it was, we are going to spread the good news to your mind so that it understands without a shadow of a doubt that the situation is now over. There's nothing that you need to do, and it no longer needs to access that mental snapshot. It can close the tab on your computer and put it into your computer history, so you know that it's there, but it no longer impacts you in the same way. If it's safe to do so, close your eyes. I'd like to invite you to think this way with me for a while. When something disturbing happens, the mind automatically blows up the information about it. If a rabbit is running from a wolf, rabbit's mind will make thoughts of carrots disappear by blowing up the image of the wolf in its mind. At that moment, hunger isn't a priority to the rabbit, sleeping isn't a priority, survival is. And it's the same for humans. Our minds don't blow up the image of an upsetting event to bother us, but because it doesn't want us distracted from ensuring our survival in the face of a perceived threat. And in addition to blowing it up, it also stops the action like a freeze frame. So even though you are present and listening to me talking now, you know that later you'll need to prepare some dinner. You know that. You don't need anyone to tell you. So if someone interrupted you and said to you, I just want you to know that you'll be preparing some dinner later, you'd say, well, yeah, why are you bothering me with that? I know that. You have no doubt about it. But when this guy is getting mugged and there's a knife to his throat, he's not thinking about what to have for dinner when he gets home. The movie has stopped and become like a still and also blown up like a billboard. If you think about coffee beans going into a coffee grinder, they can't filter through while they're still coffee beans. They need to be processed and ground down to make them smaller so they become smooth coffee grounds and fall through into the little drawer that collects them. Without getting filtered like coffee beans through a coffee grinder, the experience that you had has difficulty processing through to where we know it has happened, but we can't possibly feel like it is happening. We can't access that sensation and feel the emotion of it anymore. The photo, the information about that situation has got stuck like that, and all I'm doing with you here is effective data management, so that chop, 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 you chop it up and it goes through. Think like turning the handle on a manual coffee grinder and grinding the beans down. How can we get this thing through? You just grind it, keep turning the handle, grinding it up, sweeping everything into the grinder so it goes right through. Have you got that? Now we're going to break things up into chapters. We'll do a practice run first. So think about the situation that happened and break it up into 10 chapters. So if I'm thinking about having breakfast, for me, chapter 1, you feel hungry. Chapter 2, walk into the kitchen. Chapter 10 is you're eating your breakfast. Think about the situation that happened. I'm going to call out chapter numbers and in your mind or out loud, describe what happened in that chapter of the story. So chapter 1, what's going on? How about chapter 4? Where are you now? Chapter 8. Chapter 5. Good, have you got it? Okay, so let's say that we're going to look at what happened as if it were happening on a movie screen. Have you ever heard of a drive-in movie, right? Well, at this one, you don't have a very good parking spot there. You are right at the back, so the screen is pretty small. And actually, you're looking and the windscreen is pretty dirty, so there's only a small space that you can see through. And what's going on is going to be what went on in that situation, except it's going to play through very quickly, and of course you don't get the sound too well being right at the back. So let's watch it together. See that thing on the screen. With eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. I'm going to count from 1 to 8, and at 8 it's done, so keep up with me. The movie will have to speed up. So here we go, let's watch it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's finished. Alright? How are you doing? It's not your favourite thing, but you don't totally hate me, right? Okay. So now what we're going to do is play it again, but this time the projectionist has got confused and put it into reverse. Are you ready? Watch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and we're done. So let's now chop this up. This is a bit tricky. You're going to watch the segment when I call out the number, even though they won't be in order. So here we go, let's watch. 7, 4, 2, 6, 9. Ready? Let's do it again, chopped up. So here we go. 1, 5, 7, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3, 5, 4, 3. And done, we're good job. Now we're going to watch it zip through really fast. So here it comes, quick, 1 to 8. Boom, it's done. Now, as you consider that situation, what do you notice within? What do you need to do today to make sure that that situation didn't happen last week or last month or last year? Say it out loud. There is nothing that I need to do today to make sure that situation didn't happen a week ago. Are you sure? That's right, there is nothing I need to do today. It's great to see how quickly your mind responds to this, and all that energy and focus that had been directed towards holding that memory and fiercely protecting you has been released and redirected towards healing and greater joy and happiness in your life. It's really wonderful to see.